very much, the chakras are very much related, connected to the theme that we covered last week, which were the koshas, these very subtle bodies and layers of being. I'm just going to mute us. Okay, mute you. And today I thought we'd really start at the foundation. And for me, there are kind of two approaches to the chakras. One from a healing point of view, because that's where I kind of came into the chakras, which is with the healing aspect of Reiki. So we look at the chakras as a kind of a system, an energetic system by, there's kind of an energetic template, if you like, by which we can, energy is measured, right? Our health is measured by. From a yogic perspective, the chakras are really there as a kind of, if you like, a way of transcending things that block us from feeling enlightened, if you like. There's this idea of wanting to kind of progress and develop. Also, what I like about the chakras is that Carl Jung, the great psychologist, psychotherapist, he was very much interested in looking at the chakras from the point of view of the psychological aspects, which that really fascinates me too. And we find within the chakras different characteristics that are particular to those chakras. And today, what we're going to do is attend to the root chakra. Okay, so I know we've cycled through this before, but what we'll do is we'll just familiarize ourselves with the chakras as a system anyway. And it's kind of tricky to really get a tangible feel for it because we're talking about the energy field of the body. We're talking about the inner template of this physical self that we can, the material body that we can feel and touch. But behind that, there's a kind of a template, if you like, that provides all the information that we need in order to govern these different systems. So the chakra means wheel, a vortex. The best way I can really describe chakras that we can relate to it is what's within is without. Now, if we look at each cell has an atom, and around that atom, we have electrons that spin around. They're not physically attached, but they circulate. Everything is moving. It's got a circular motion. It's a vibration that is completely turning around all the time. Okay, every single millions and trillions of cells in our body, that's what they're doing. They're circling around. In fact, they're emitting sound because it's vibration energy. Okay. So they're emitting a vibration. The type of vibration they emit, we know that if we are in harmony and we are in tune, then our vibration, our energy will have a lot of energy. Okay, we'll feel vital, we'll feel centered, grounded. Our body will feel at home in our body. Our breath will be easy and flowing. Our mind will be nice and kind of positive and centered. But you actually know when you're off kilter. We know that feeling of harmony and balance, but we also know when we're off, okay? So off key, and there's just so many ways of describing it, like sound, like vibration. So we have these major hubs of energy centers in the body that live on a vertical line that are in the etheric body. We call this the aura, if you like, from a healing point of view. And it very much, from a yogic perspective, relates to the second kosha, which is the pranamaya kosha, which is all about the vitality and the energy. Now, one way I can really think of how we draw in energy and how we kind of expend our energy is if you think about the shape of the body. If you look at the spine, it's this kind of vertical line, but then we've got two legs that come down, and it's almost like we're like a tuning fork. If you've ever seen a tuning fork, right? It's a way of kind of divining and reading energy, okay? But you can almost think that we are like receivers and transmitters for energy. We're receiving energy that's coming in from around. We're receiving the energy that comes in from the air, and we're also consuming that energy through what we eat, through what we read, through what we see and hear. All right, so we're these multi-dimensional beings. And I know you've probably seen pictures of the chakras all aligned in one straight line, and it looks like a rainbow bridge. The root chakras are often depicted as red, a symbolic colour, if you like, of being earthy and grounding. Um, from an energetic point of view or a healing point of view, we use that as a template, if you like, but I wouldn't say that's an accurate measure of what the chakras are in terms of that they have these bright colors. But for us, in terms of the concept of trying to get with the nature and the characteristics of them, it's very easy to have a system, and then you work with that system, and you have something as a baseline, if you like. So what we'll do is we'll just run through the chakras, so that you can kind of get them into your sphere, your realm of getting that into the mind space. And we can kind of have a picture of it. So I'm going to invite you to sit in a way, actually, if you can sit kneeling, I'm going to invite you to sit on a yoga brick, or you can sit on cushions and kneel if your knees are okay with this. If not, no worries. You can sit cross-legged on a cushion, that would be fine. And we're placing the brick flat like this. So we've made a little seat for our pelvis. If you are longer and taller, if you sit on two, that might be better for you to give you that elevation, but you might find one brick will be fine. I'm going to just sit on the one. Okay. And then rest your palms in your lap, your hands in your lap. Just close your eyes and feel your sitting bones. So left and right sitting bones. And if you can, bring a sense and attention and awareness to your pubic bone at the front. And your tailbone towards the back. So in your mind's eye, you might visualize this kind of cross with these points, 4 points. And then at the center of this cross is really the root. We call this Muladhara. Mula in Sanskrit means root. And it's the base and the foundation of really who we are. And Mula, the root, is all about this physical, the first kosha, the Annamaya kosha, which is about the food body. So it's the structure, it's the bones, it's the tissues, it's the organs. And that really is the basis of like who we are, this material body. Okay. So from there, if we rise up just above the pubic bone to the sacral energy chakra. Chakra means wheel, it's a vortex that spins, a bit like each atom in the body does. And it's a hub that stores and transmits information and energy. And then we rise up to where the stomach is, to solar plexus, and we've got solar plexus chakra. That's another hub and energy there. And then we've got the heart. So if we go to the center of the chest, front and back, by the way. So the chakras are extending outwards from the front and the back of the body, apart from the root chakra, which goes straight down, and the crown chakra, which goes straight up. And then we come to the throat, so front and back, and then third eye, front and back, and then the crown. So now you've got this beautiful alignment of these chakras kind of stacked up like sort of floating planets, if you like, all in alignment. Good. And then just take a moment here, connect to your breath. And it's the root chakra we're really going to focus upon today. And I would say the essence of this chakra is all about the feeling of strength, stability and grounding, placement on this earth, and this sense of belonging. Now we know that when the feeling of being ungrounded, we can feel like we're off kilter. Maybe we get swayed by what's going on around and pulled in all directions. But when our roots are strong, we're kind of steady, and we feel like maybe we can withstand whatever's going on around us, other people's emotions perhaps. When we're a bit ungrounded, what can happen is we get pulled by other people's views and emotions. So you might just take a measure and just see where you're at today. Do you feel strong and stable? Do you feel connected to your body? Do you feel like you're nourishing your body? So just notice where you are, there's no judgment. Good. And then from a yogic perspective, what we can do is start to work with a lock, a Muladhara. Sorry, we'll get moving shortly, but it's quite good to just bring this into our mind because this is the basis of all our practice for the rest of the week. And we'll just take attention to both sit bones. And I want you to imagine that those sit bones are getting closer towards each other, so imagine you're drawing your sit bones in towards the midline, very center point of the body. So the center of that cross. Okay, good. So take a breath in, you gather those points together, and slowly breathe out. And just as you breathe out, have a sense you're sinking both sit bones down. Okay. So now we're going to bring our attention to pubic bone, tailbone. We're going to imagine that those 2 points are drawing in towards the midline, front and back. And what you might sense there is this kind of gathering in the lower belly. So this is this engagement of the Muladhara. And what we'll do is we'll draw the sit bones towards each other, plus your pubic bone and your coccyx, tailbone. Good. And then have a sense you're gathering your pelvic floor, just kind of lifting it slightly, drawing the lower belly in and up slightly. And then just breathe in and out here. Very nice. Try not to squeeze too much. It's just a very kind of subtle gathering towards the center here. Good. Great. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. We're going to come off the brick here. We're going to place it in between the thighs and come into all fours. Come onto all fours. Set your belt aside, which you'll need later on. And we'll plant the palms down. And you want the brick to be the narrow edge. Give that a little squeeze there. The knees are going to be narrower than they are normally. So we're just going to hug that in. And then you might find that your chest is drawing down, but try and lift it up in towards the body, observing a neutral spine to begin with. But what you'll notice here is that there's this toe here, and then we'll work with that as we come into a cow. We're going to relax that, come into cow. And then as you exhale, you can really start to squeeze the adductors as you come into cow, and we'll just move in this way. So the root chakra relates to the physical body, particularly the legs, pelvis, the lower pelvis, the legs, the feet. And as you touch the earth here, really feel the ground beneath you as you work with your cow and your cat. And engaging the bandha, the Muladhara here, really helps us to contain our energy. Now what we're going to do here is take the knees a little bit wider, slide that brick out, take the knees a little bit wider, but just have a sense that you can still draw in and engage through the bandhas. And then tuck your toes and really do that a few times. Really just keep tucking the toes in, almost like walking from foot to foot. Keep your bandhas engaged and just stretch out the soles of the feet. Good. And then as you exhale, push into the ground and lift the belly in towards the body and hover the knees off the ground. Look forwards and draw your shoulders away from the ears. Good. And then bring the knees back down. Release the toes and bring yourself into a child's pose. And let the forehead come down onto the mat. Feel the backs of the hands on the ground. And then slide your hands forwards again. Come back onto all fours. Tuck your toes and bring the toes together. And then we're going to lean back, walking the hands back and come into a squat. So bring the knees together, walk your hands back, lift your chest and your sternum, lift up through the crown and just place your hands on your lap and you're balancing. This is a toe balance here. Good, very nice. Take a deep breath in and then raise your arms up and imagine these arms are like stabilizers. And just draw the head of the shoulders back. Good. Lift up through the crown, engage through the bandhas, and that will squeeze the inner thighs. And then plant your palms onto the ground, come into Uttanasana, forward fold. So bowing down here, fingertips lift up through the chest, halfway lift, and then exhale, you bow down and fold. And you might even walk the hands back a little bit, softening through the knees, and grab your calves behind you. So allow your head to traction. Breath is nice and steady. Good. And then bring your fingertips onto the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Come forwards towards the toes, pick up your heels and come back into your squat. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, squeeze the legs. Good. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, come into the forward fold, this time taking your hands behind you in an interlace and stretch the arms up. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. Inhale, release the hands, bring the weight towards the toes, pick up your heels, lift the arms. So we're going to move along with the breath. We're going to exhale, bring the heels down, reach the arms back behind you. So allow your breath to be nice and long. We'll move with the breath. So you'll come back into your squat. Squeeze those knees together, engage through the bandhas, and then fold. We'll just do that 2 more times. Take your time, nice long slow breath will help you to balance, focus, squeeze those legs. Good, you'll wake up those glutes. Good, nice. We'll do it 1 more time, come into the toe squat. Lift your arms and then just pause there, squeezing the legs together. We're going to take 2 more breaths. So inhale, exhale, don't worry about wobbles. Inhale. Exhale, bow down, fold. Right, we're going to walk the hands forwards, crawling towards the top of the mat. Come into downward facing dog. Keep your toes together, your heels together, so the feet are together on the midline. So use that as a sense of gathering in, engage the bandhas, take a deep breath in. You're going to rock forwards to a plank. So keeping those toes, heels together, rock forwards to a plank. Good. Exhale, you're going to press back to downward facing dog. Really squeeze the midline in, the adductors into the midline. Rock forwards to a plank. Of course, if this gets a bit much, you just pause. Good, but really waking up the legs. So when you take your heels back into the down dog, feel like you're awakening the back of the legs. Good, 1 more. Downward facing dog. And then bring the feet hip width apart, but see if you can maintain your Mula Bandha. And you'll feel that maybe your glutes are a little bit more switched on. Very nice. Let the head hang, shake it from side to side. No, no, no. And then we're going to walk our feet towards the hands. Very nice. Good. Hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we rise. All the way to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Great. Now we're going to work a little bit more with the brick. I'm going to take that in between the thighs, the narrow edge of your block, and you want to squeeze kind of the fleshy part of your thighs. You're going to squeeze that in, okay? And then just focus on your feet, spreading the 4 corners and lift the inner arches up. So one of the things with the bandhas that we can find is that when we lift the inner arches, that connects to the pelvic floor. So you'll naturally feel, but because we're squeezing the block, you'll feel that your legs are nicely engaged. Great. Inhale, sweep the arms up and wide. Maybe you look up at your thumbs and then bring the hands down the midline in your namaste and forward fold. This could be a little bit tricky, right? So you really want to hinge over the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. You might not come down, so exhale, fold in. And then inhale, rise all the way to stand. I know that can be tricky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's just do that 1 more time. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up and wide. Look up at the thumbs. Hands in prayer, come down to the midline. Hands maybe down onto the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in again. Good. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Very, very good. Now, we'll try to do a sun salute with the brick. I know it might be a little bit challenging, but let's see how we go. Inhale, sweep the arms up and wide. Exhale, forward fold. Then you're going to bring your hands down onto the mat and walk the feet back to a plank. Try not to drop your brick. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, bring the knees down, release the toes, and see if you can just come down halfway into a half chaturanga. Inhale, lift up into an upward facing dog, and we take it back to down dog. I know, interesting, right? And maybe a little bit different. All right, now squeeze the brick, so your feet will be a little bit closer together than normal. Good, we're going to inhale, rock forwards to a plank, so toes together, heels together, press back to down dog. We'll just do that a couple more times. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog, squeezing that brick. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. So we have to do a funny sort of tippy toeing towards the front of the mat. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you could hop. Hands to your shins, inhale, halfway lift. It's tricky, you don't want to lose that brick. Fold and then rise. Exhale, hands to the heart, and just pause there. That was probably a bit of a challenge, don't worry. And hopefully quite interesting. Now you're going to release the brick. Set it to the side. Come back to your Tadasana. And we're just going to you'll feel that imprint there. Keep that sense of engagement. Lift the arms as you inhale. Sun salutation. Exhale, forward fold. And just noticing the quality of the legs here, the feeling. And then as you exhale, step back to plank. Normal plank. Inhale, plank. And then a choice of your vinyasa. They're coming all the way down onto the belly, and then maybe a little cobra from here. But imagine you're squeezing that imaginary block between the legs as you come back up into your downward facing dog. So you want to engage. And hopefully what you'll find is that's very easy to switch on there. We'll pause for 2 more breaths. Let the head just dangle, get long in your spine. And you might be feeling that there's so much more awareness in the legs, and maybe that helps you to bring the weight into the legs. I'm finding that right now, so just notice that. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, maybe hopping, stepping on top of the mat. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we're going to rise all the way to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. So part of being rooted and grounding is that we have strength to rise, all right? And it helps our balance. So what we're going to do here is as we inhale, we're going to bring the weight forwards to the toes, lift the heels up and raise the arms up on the inhale. Good. Now as you exhale, lower the heels down and forward fold. You can soften through the knees, but you might want to keep the legs straightening there. Imagine the block is there. Inhale, halfway lift, and step back to your plank. Good, nice. Inhale, plank. Maybe a chaturanga or a half chaturanga if you want this round. Cobra or up dog as you inhale. Take it to your downward facing dog. Very nice, good. Right leg lifts up and back. And just pause here, get long, look through the body and see that your pelvis is engaged and squeeze those inner groins together. Exhale, step your right foot forwards. Plant the foot down, 4 corners of the feet, press out through the back, balls of the toes, bring the arms back, palms face up, lift your chest. Squeeze the outer hips towards each other, and as you inhale, raise both arms up towards the sky. Fingertips reach up to touch. Your right knee is bent and the back leg is straight. You're in a high crescent lunge. Very good. Now soften into that left knee as though you want to tap the ground, but you won't. Just let it hover. Hug the belly in, and then we'll transition into a warrior 2. So turn and ground the back heel. Now I want you to imagine that you're squeezing the feet towards each other. Great. And then I want you to imagine you're pressing away from each other, right? So it gives you a different feeling in the legs, and try to spread the toes. You're not clawing them in. And then keep that stability and come into your reverse warrior. Inhale, lift the right arm up towards the sky. Very, very nice. Now we're going to come back to warrior 2, but look forwards and transition into a half moon and see if we can shift the weight into that right foot. So as you look down, take your hand about 1 foot in front or 1.5 feet, and as you do that, maybe hand is on a block Now, if you are feeling really strong here from your Mula Bandha, you could work with a little bit of balance here and explore. So that back leg is lifted. Even if it pops down, it doesn't matter. Engage through this bandha and find that your strength, your balance comes from there. Left hip rolls up, flex the back foot, and then maybe roll your left shoulder open. So as you press down through that right hand, you're lifting up through the left fingertips and your bandha is engaged. And Uddiyana Bandha. Good. Take a deep breath in. Now from here, see if you can lift your chest, soften into that right knee, press into the fingertips and maybe hover that hand up off the brick and then bend the right knee and see if you can plant the back foot into your footprint. Very, very nice. Straighten the front leg. We're going to come into triangle. So reach forwards with that right hand. Bring the right hand to your shin or grab your brick, place it onto the ground and push into the earth and lift up. Take a deep, deep breath in. And we'll stay for 2 more breaths. Inhaling. Good. Open the chest, lean back a little bit. Exhaling. Good. Maybe you look at the horizon. Inhale. Exhale, sweep the left arm over your head and we'll transition into a wide-legged forward fold, bringing your brick with you to the center because we will transition towards the back of the mat. But let's just pause here, stretching through both legs and bowing down, head onto the ground. Take a deep breath in. Very, very nice. Good. Inhale, walk your hands forwards, lift your chest. Exhale, turn your left foot toward the back of the mat. We'll do a vinyasa and close the vinyasa. So step back plank, inhale in your plank, and it's up to you, chaturanga or a half chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Take it back to your down dog, facing towards the back of your mat. Pause there, take a deep breath in. Engage Mula Bandha. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, hop, step or walk to the back of your mat towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold, and we'll rise all the way to stand. Nice, strong legs. Lift the arms. Exhale, hands to the heart. Very good. So we're going to repeat exactly what we did facing the back of the mat. Now, inhale, lift the arms and bring the weight forwards to the toes. Pick up your heels and see if you can just lift up and pause here for an extra breath. Squeezing those heels together, inhaling. Reaching the fingertips up, and as you exhale, lower the heels down, bow down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe you do a little hop back if you want to into your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, take it back to down dog. Inhale, lifts your left leg and just look through the body, see the pelvis is level, engage your Mula Bandha. Exhale, step your left foot forward, plant that foot down strongly, and as you press down through the foot, feel how that rebounds into your Bandha. And then when you're ready, reach the arms back, lift your chest, and then reach the arms forwards and up towards the sky. Back heel is lifted as though you have a high heel high heel on. And then you're going to bend that back knee. Good. Keep your fingertips reaching up towards the sky and draw your pelvis back. Nice. Good. Very, very nice. And then we're going to transition into our warrior 2. Turn and ground the back heel. Squeeze the inner groins towards each other. So it's like you want to pull the feet towards each other and then press them out at the same time. So you'll really feel like the legs are really strong. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then as you exhale, let's get ready for half moon. So you're looking forwards, looking down at the ground, bending into that left knee, picking up the back heel, and then just work out where you're going to plant your hand to root down. So that's your foundation to lift the back leg up. Flex the back toes as though you want to make a print on the back wall. Lift the right hand up towards the sky. Your bandha is nicely engaged. You might even play with floating that left hand up off the ground. So you'll keep extending. So as you root down, you rise. Hold it here for a breath. Soften into that left knee, and then we'll rise back into our warrior 2. Try and find your footprint. Very nice, nice and steady. Straighten the front leg. Good. Hinge at the hips, reach forwards, triangle pose. So you might use your block, your brick. Use that as support and grounding to spin your chest open, lean the upper chest back a little bit. We'll take one more breath. And as you exhale, come into a wide-legged forward fold. This time, we'll take hold of the big toe. So this is Padangusthasana. Thumbs are on the inside, inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, bend the elbows outwards and pull yourself down. Head might come down on the ground. If it does, you might shorten your stride so you can get more stretch from the hamstrings. So completely up to you. But that's going to give you a really, if your head is on the ground, lift, shorten your stride, and then you can work the legs. So let's take 2 more breaths here. One more breath. On your inhale, release the toes. Press the palms forward. Spin your right toes towards the top of the mat, crawling your hands there. Step back to plank pose. Inhale, plank, and as you exhale, descend very slowly onto the ground. And we'll lower slow. Maybe take your time. You can bring the knees down if you want to first. And then belly, chest touches, chin touches. Slide those toes away. Engage the legs strongly and just get a little bit longer. Shuffle that. Cobra pose. So Bhujangasana, inhale, inflate the lungs, lift your chest, look forwards, engage the legs, push down through the tops of the feet. Now if you find that you're okay here, feeling the back bend in your thoracic spine, just float the hands off as long as you're not feeling this in the lower back. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Chin is slightly in, so the back of the neck is lifting up and back. Take one more breath. Exhale, lower slow. Chin touches, tuck your toes, press back to downward facing dog. Now if you want to push up from here through chaturanga to plank, down dog, because you want a little bit more challenge, heat, you can. And then just pause here, engaging Mula Bandha, lengthening through your spine. One more breath. Excellent, good. Bend the knees on the inhale, and you might hop step top of the mat. Hands to your shins, inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, fold. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's sit down into chair pose. We're going to sit down into chair, lift the arms, engage through Mula Bandha, and then take your twist to the right. Left elbow hooks, and then reach your right arm as you inhale. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, rise to stand. Push down through the feet to lift. Sit down into chair pose. Twist to the left, right elbow on the outside. Press the palms together. Left arm lifts up to the sky. Very good. Exhale, bring the palms together. Inhale, rise to stand. So really being aware of the strength of the legs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You might do a little hop back or a step back plank. Chaturanga or a half chatur. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and then down dog. So just nice clear sun salutation. Just pause here. Really push into the earth. So you're pressing your hands, actively lengthening your spine up and back. Engaging through Mula Bandha and feeling that connection with your legs. That earthy feeling and quality. So really feel here that you're here now. Bend the knees on the inhale. Exhale, you might step, walk, hop to the top of the mat. Hands to your shins, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold into your Uttanasana, and then sit your hips down as you inhale, chair, and rise up through your chair to stand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Brilliant, well done. So we're going to do a little bit more balancing and work with that sense of rooting to rise and lift up. And we're going to use our brick to balance for a tree pose, okay? Right leg is going to come into tree. So we're going to plant the brick down onto the ground and step on it with the left foot. Okay. So you might find that you curl the toes over the brick. That might help you give a little bit more grip, but just try and plant it so you can lift your inner arch, feel that connection to the pelvic floor, hands to your hips, and lift your right knee up. Turn the heel out, the toes out, the heel in, plant it on the inseam of your leg, and you might just hold it here. Now press the sole of the foot into the adductor, engage the adductor, find a drushti and bring the hands to the heart if you feel steady. If not, keep hold of the foot. I am rooted, I am grounded, I feel strong. And then lift the arms up. So as you let your energy rise, feel equally that your energy is grounded. Hold it here for 3. And if you're a bit wobbly like me, no worries, for 2. And 1. And then hands to the heart. Release your leg, your foot back down and step off your brick. Pause in Tadasana. Don't worry about wobbles, it's fine, but just feel the quality of having done that pose. It really doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be a perfect practice. We're going to switch sides. Sometimes I can balance, sometimes I can't, and I really don't mind about that. I would say balancing poses have been my nemesis, to be honest with you. That's what I've really struggled with in my practice. I've got a lifetime to practice, it's fine. Right foot there, and you'll find you have an easier side, so bring your hands to your hips. And the main thing is that we can bring a quality of enjoyment into our practice. We're not trying to be perfect, we're here, this is brilliant. Hold your left ankle in, press the foot into the inseam of your thigh, engage that leg muscle strongly. Try and make sure that your pelvis is as balanced as you can. The hip does hook up a little bit, no worries. Now root your tailbone down, lift the pubic bone up in towards the body. Hands to your heart. And when you're ready and you feel balanced, then you just take the arms all the way up and stretch up, framing your ears with your arms and holding it here for 3. Just breathe for 2. And 1. Good. Let the hands come back to your heart. Set the foot back down. Tadasana. And then once you've got your feet hip width apart, planted on the ground, just close your eyes in your mountain pose. So one of the things that we can sense and feel that are embedded and imbibed in these poses are certain qualities and feelings. So mountain pose is about strength and being earthed, just as our tree is. You might feel a greater connection with the soles of your feet on the earth, lift those inner arches. And as you draw that energy up, then you can draw strength from this sense of grounding. Bring that energy into the body, mind, and spirit. So this is how we use our practice. If you're feeling ungrounded in your life, unstable, unsafe, doing this practice will help you feel a bit more stable. Now we're going to work with a bit more balance, just one more balancing pose, and we're going to use a prop here. We're going to use our belt. This is Utthita Padangusthasana. This is the last balancing pose. And the idea of using the belt is that we use it as support. We're not relying upon it, but we're just using it as a guide, if you like, to help us to balance, okay? Because we are going to be challenged a little bit more here. So Utthita Padangusthasana. We're going to lift that right knee up. Try and extend the left arm up for a sense of counterbalance. Root down through 4 corners of the left foot and extend that foot straight out in front of you. And just find that balance between rooting down and lifting up. Now turn your right toes out to the side and guide the leg out in external rotation. And the left arm comes out as a counterbalance. Don't worry about wobbles and wavering about a little bit. It is a bit of a balancing act, don't worry. And then bring the leg back to center. Hold the strap into your left hand. Reach the right arm up. And then just turn your chest back, reaching the right hand back. You can look straight forwards if that's easier for you to balance. Hold it here for 3, for 2, 1. And then lift your right hand up towards the sky. Let go of the strap. Bend that right knee. Bring your hands to your heart. And settle the foot back down. Come back to Tadasana. And that really did work your left leg. You'll probably feel that left glute quite strongly like I do. Just pause and breathe. Find your balance. It's very easy to just hold the breath when we concentrate like that. So breathe easy, do the other side, get ready. Just place that strap over the balls of the toes. You're holding that in the left hand, lift the right arm straight up towards the sky to counterbalance. Push down through the right foot, lift the left foot up and extend straight out in front of you. And think alignment of your ankle, knee and hip. Turn the toes out, take the foot out towards the side. If you need to, bend the knee like I do. Got a tight quad on that side, you can soften the knee and take the right hand out towards the side. Good. I'm going to inhale, lift the right arm up, bring the leg back to center. Hold the strap in the other hand, take your left arm out and do a little twist. Good, inhale here, lifting the left arm up, lifting the right arm up, bend that left knee. Don't worry about the strap, bring the hands to your heart and set the foot down and just come back to your mountain pose, pausing there. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. I'm just going to bring the feet a little bit wider, lifting the arms up on the inhale and sinking down into Muladhara. Come down into a deep squat. So one of the prevailing energies of the Muladhara or the Muladhara Chakra is that a rooting, a descending energy that moves down. And this relates to a pranavayu known as apana. And it's all about elimination. We have to let go of what we don't need. We need that downward energy. And then bring the thumbs to your heart space. See if you can press down through four corners, but feel like you're lifting up, and that's going to really help you engage through Muladhara. We'll come into a twist. I'm going to bring the left hand onto that left knee. Extend your right hand arm in front of your right shin, and then push into that left knee, lift your hips, and extend your right arm back in a twist. We'll sit back down into Muladhara, come back down, and see if you can feel that dual action of lifting through the crown, rooting through the base. Other side, we're going to bring right hand to the knee, extend the left arm out for a moment. Now push into that right knee, lift your hips, and now float that left arm out towards the side in a twist. And then we come back down. Very nice, good. Excellent, well done. Now we're going to sit the hips down, bringing the soles of the feet together. Now take a moment here if you can. If you're rolling back and you need to walk the hips back, that's going to give you a bit of rotation in your hips. We're going to hold, if we can, thread your fingers together and see if you can lace and catch hold of the toes and lift your chest up. Okay. If that's tricky to hold the feet like that, you can take the feet forwards in a diamond shape. Just hold your ankles, your shins, and lift up. Engage from Mula Bandha, just squeezing those pelvic floor muscles in. And as you do that, root down and sink those sit bones down. And as you breathe in, feel like your energy is rising all the way up through all the chakras to the crown. Breathing up and down the center line of your core. Let's do that one more time. Inhale all the way up. Exhale all the way down. Feel that connection to the earth. Okay. See if you can walk your feet a little bit closer. And you have an option here, right? We're going to see if we can balance. We'll try and lean back a little bit, lift the feet, and see if we can extend the feet up. Some of us might just keep the knees bent or hold the backs of the legs. This is Ubaya Konasana. And the aim here is to catch hold of the toes if we can, or we wrap the arms around the legs and then squeeze that in. And you're literally balancing on those sit bones, okay? If this is completely impossible, don't worry. You hold wherever you can, your shins together. If the legs need to be bent, it doesn't matter, you're more in Navasana. If you can catch hold of toes, you do. And you try and bring the legs a little bit closer for 3, for 2, 1. And then very, very slowly let the legs go and bring them down onto the ground and lift up into your Dandasana. Good. We're going to take a moment here in Dandasana. We root down the backs of the legs. Take a deep breath in, draw your Mula Bandha in so you can feel like you've got space in that hip, in the hip bones, and you can lift up through the crown. Find your alignments. Turn your little toes towards you so the inner thighs roll down onto the mat. Good. Notice if you're feeling grounded on the back of the legs, and we'll just explore this. So many years ago, I had the privilege of attending a great yoga teacher called Matthew Sanford, who was paraplegic. He became a yoga teacher after he had an accident, car accident, and became wheelchair bound. And he's the most fantastic teacher, and he does amazing work with paraplegics. What he realized, which really fascinates me, encourages me in yoga, was although he didn't have that motor skill of moving his legs, what he could feel was energy. And so he brings a really interesting slant to teaching, and this is what I learned from him. So in Dandasana, we root it down through the backs of the legs. Now, bend your right knee and just massage the back of that thigh and the back of your calf muscle. So we think we're grounded. Let's have a look and see. Now, having rubbed that leg, stretch the foot away and plant it down and bring yourself back to Dandasana. Look straight ahead and notice the feeling of that right leg compared to the left. It's going to feel more grounded. Let's do the same with the left. You bend the knee, squeeze the back of your hamstrings and your calf muscle. And you can squeeze the front, the whole leg. And then slide the foot slowly away from you, come back to your Dandasana. Turn the toes towards you, flex the feet, and just notice how you feel. Close your eyes. Muladhara is engaged, spine is completely aligned, you're connected to the earth. Lovely, huh? And you're probably feeling more grounded. How amazing. I learned that from Matthew Sanford. That's amazing. Let's sit our hips forwards and we're going to roll onto our backs. Now as you do that, engage from Muladhara and slowly lower your spine down. Of course, if you're feeling a bit sensitive, just pop your hands down and you can guide yourself down. But if you want to, you can roll your spine all the way down. Take your time. Get there however you feel like. And then hug your knees in towards your chest and squeeze. And we're going to rock from side to side. Plant your left foot down, extend your right foot up towards the sky. Some of you might catch hold of that right toe in Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Left hand is on your hip point. Normally we would do this with a belt, but we're not going to. So you either hold your big toe or you can thread your hands behind your right thigh, interlace and push the thigh against the hands. That's another way of doing it. So you choose. And then extend your left leg long and just keep that leg nice and straight. Turn the left big toe in, internal rotation to the midline. That's going to help you find a little bit more space and alignment in your pelvis as you root that pelvis down. Bend the knee in towards you, take that leg out towards the side. You might straighten the leg as much as you can. Now, try and get the leg coming back behind you as well as outwards, because we really want to lengthen those hamstrings here, all right? And then with that stability of Mula, take the leg a little bit wider. Hopefully you've got space. If you do have something like I have chest of drawers, you might just casually lean the foot there. I can still get a stretch, but now I've got support. And then bring your leg back to center and just lengthen out through that right sit bone. And then take the leg right the way over your body, extending your right arm out. And this will go as far as you roll onto your left hip, as far as you want. Now I quite like to hover my leg, so I'm going to use my left hand as a little support there. And then roll my right shoulder down and my right ribs down as I extend the foot. I find I can get really nice traction here. Some of you might get the foot down, but just observe how that is for you. And then we'll come back to center. Inhale. Foot up towards the sky. Take your hands forwards. Flex the left toes. Inhale. Draw your bandhas in. Exhale, lift. We're going to hold it here for 3. Nice deep breath in. And exhale for 2. And 1. Release your head back down. Release the arms and stretch the leg out long. Just pause. We'll do the other side. Bend both knees. Feel that sense of levelness in the back of the pelvis first and the natural curves in your spine right now, and then lift the left leg up. Good. You can hold behind the thigh if that's easier for you, bending the knee, or leg straight, hold the big toe, and then stretch your leg out long. So we want to just stretch the hamstrings here. Good. Place your right hand on top of your hips. You might be holding your big toe or the back of the thigh. Bend the knee, take the leg out to the side. And a little bit back. Good, you can bend the knee to soften the hamstrings and straighten the leg. Right hip hooks down. Very nice, take a deep breath once you've got to your edge, and we'll come back to the center. Your right hand is going to hold the side of your knee, and you'll take the leg all the way over your body, rolling onto your right hip, extending the left arm out. And you try and lengthen through your left hip so it's moving towards the edge of your mat, top of your mat. And pause here and breathe, engaging through Muladhara. And feeling the earth beneath you, the quality, the textures, feeling rooted and grounded. And then coming back to center, reaching your arms forward, sinking the belly button down in towards the body. Inhaling here, and then as you exhale, lift your head up, and we stay for 2 more breaths. Inhale, sink, hollow the belly, and exhale. 1 more breath. Try and lift up a little bit higher on that exhale, and then slowly lower down. Hug your knees in towards your chest, and rock from side to side. Let's plant the feet down. And we'll take a little back bend here for bridge. So press down through both 4 corners of the feet, lift the inner arches, and as you do that, push into the legs, lift your hips, use the support of the ground, interlace your fingers behind you, under you, and then see if you can roll on the upper part of your arm bones. You'll just kind of hug and scoop them in under you, and you'll get a little bit more lift in your sternum. Neck is free. And you'll just feel a little bit of weight along the arms, shoulders, feet, and pause. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. So you'll notice that gravity wants to sink the hips down. Keep pressing into the feet. 1 more breath. And then release the arms out to the side, palms turning up, and then slowly release your spine all the way down. Pause when you get there. You might shimmy the shoulders out of the way so you've got space in the back of the heart. And just feel the back of the pelvis. Feel rooted and grounded through the back of the pelvis. And we're going to lift the legs up into Viparita Karani, straight up towards the sky. What tends to happen here is a slight lift of the chest. So we call this a kind of a restorative mild inversion. It's the same as legs up the wall, but we just have the legs up floating. You might find that you can observe the natural curves in your spine. So there is a little kind of lordotic curve there, but you're anchored by the back of your pelvis. Just let your legs drain. The energy that we've connected to the earth come into the body, the power, the strength we've cultivated in our practice. And surprisingly, even though the legs are up in the air like this is quite a grounding pose, it has the effect of soothing the brain. It can really connect us to the earth. You might feel the bony processes of your spine on the ground, the flatness of the scapulars, your shoulder blades on the ground. And you can connect to the joints of the body and the weight of the bones. So this is the material body connecting into the root. Good. And then when you're ready, you can bend the knees and just fold the knees in towards you. Wrap the arms around, hug in. Rock a little bit from side to side. And we'll get ready for Shavasana. And I'm going to invite you to do either a front way Shavasana or a regular Shavasana. Front way Shavasana is really interesting. If you're doing this, you'll just turn over onto your front body, fold your arms, and either rest your forehead onto the mat, or you can turn your head to the side. If you need a cushion, you grab that. You can turn the toes in and let the heels splay out. You can make a cushion for your head, and it feels really lovely to feel that the front part of the body is in touch with the earth. So it might be nice to do this for a change. So grab any props that you might need. And if you're lying on your front, you might have a blanket over your back. And then we'll just do some earth breathing. So just feeling the rise and the fall of your chest and your belly. You'll feel that response in the back body if you're lying on your front. As you exhale, feel like you're drawing down towards gravity, and gravity is gently hugging you into the earth. So having this connection with the front body on the earth can have this feeling of safety, because one of the qualities of the earth chakra is that we feel safe, that we are safe and secure. We're on this earth. We know our place. We fit into the earth. We have our place here. We belong. So when we feel safe and secure, there is this feeling of belonging. I'm going to stay for a couple more minutes. If you do feel, if your front way's down and you feel like lying on your back, you can. Or you can turn your head if your head is to the side. Now start to bring your awareness back to the feeling of being in your body. So you might start to feel the texture of the feet against the ground. Contact of your arms on the surface that you're lying on, feeling the texture there. Being aware of your hands and your feet, your whole body. And then when you're ready, hug your knees in. If you're on your front, you'll just take a little child's pose. And we'll make our way slowly back up to sit. And we're going to pause just in a brief kind of meditation, if you like, just connecting into the body, just as you come upright. Take time to settle with your breath. Bring awareness to the base, to the root chakra. Notice your connection to those qualities. Do you feel the earth? Do you feel grounded? Does your body feel strong? So there's some wonderful affirmations to affirm those qualities. I feel strong, I feel grounded, I feel centered. I respect my body, I nourish it, it serves me well. I feel connected to the earth, nature, and to my tribe, my family, my friends. So bring to mind any other affirmations that you might like to connect to your root. And you can bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in just to seal that in. Exhale out through the mouth. And let's do 2 more breaths like that. Inhale through the nose. When you're ready, open your eyes. Well done for your practice. Namaste.